This is our presentation on how to eat cheaply in Paris. One thing that you should try to avoid on study abroad is spending tons of money on food. Of course, you should spend money on good food, but eating at a cafe costs a fortune, and eating at a cafe every single day for lunch would eat up your money really quickly, and it's just simply not worth it. Once or twice, sure, go to a special restaurant on the study abroad, but overall, we think you can eat very cheaply and still eat very well at just your average neighborhood grocery store. We really enjoy going to grocery stores in foreign countries because you find unique foods there. And they're relatively inexpensive because they're just your average neighborhood grocery store. One of the most common grocery stores in Paris is called Carrefour. You'll find them, as you can see on the map, dotted all over Paris. There will probably be one in your neighborhood. Some of them are quite small, and they sometimes look small on the outside, but when you go in, they're sometimes bigger than you were expecting. Sometimes they'll have bought more space at the back of the building behind other stores so that the grocery store actually spreads out once you get inside. It's pretty amazing what they can cram in there sometimes. Here's a nicer looking one, or a slightly bigger looking one, it looks like anyway. There's another store called FRANPRIX. Again, you can see on the map all over Paris. Here's sort of an older looking one, and here's a more modern looking one. Another store that we see all over Paris is MONOPRIX, and these tend to be slightly swankier, a little bit more expensive, but in a pinch, if you just need a little snack, it might be a very good place to go. Here's one. Again, it looks relatively small from the outside, but it's probably quite big on the inside. There's one in a cool building. And here's one in a really cool building. Here is a shopping cart. And here's my daughter showing you how to put that shopping cart away. So you just push the cart into the row of shopping carts, slide it all the way in, pull out that key right there, and then shove that key into the slot, which will push out the coin that you put in there earlier. Here is, you can see the coin sort of sticking out from the coin slot a little bit, and when you return it, you'll just put that key into the right slot, or you'll take the key from the previous cart, and you shove it into your cart to attach it to the row of carts, and that will push the coin out. And then the chain you see hanging there, the next person will shove that chain into their cart to attach it to the row of carts. There's the slot where you put the coin in at a Carrefour grocery store. All right, now one of the things about buying fruits and vegetables in a grocery store, there's a couple things here to note. Notice that on these fruit bins, they have where the fruit was grown. In this case, it looks like those front three were all grown in France, so that's nice. You can see the prices up there, but what you do is you put the produce that you want in a plastic bag, and you set it on that scale off to the left there. And if you look closely, you can see on that scale that there's pictures of the various fruits and vegetables. So you put it on the scale, you push the appropriate button, and it spits out a little sticker that you can put on your bag so that the cashier can ring it up properly. If you do not do it properly, if you just take a bag of food through the checkout counter without doing the weighing and putting the price tag on it, the cashier will be quite angry. The people in line behind you will be quite angry because you're taking up valuable time, as the cashier either has to tell you to get out of line and go weigh your fruit yourself, or the cashier has to go weigh it for you. Either way, they're not happy if you do that. So make sure that you find one of these scales in the fruit and vegetable area, put it in the bag, put it on the scale. You can see here she's looking at a picture of bananas. She pushes it, and then a little ticket comes out the bottom. And put that little ticket down on the bottom right, put that on the bag. This is a store we found in Paris that sells American items. They named it Thanksgiving because, well, they figured if you want to buy American food, that's what you do. Now, here's a map of where Thanksgiving is. You can see it off to the right. The island that you see right below Thanksgiving, that island has one of the best ice cream shops in all of Paris, which we will tell you about at another prep class. The island to the left is where Notre Dame is. And then right down at the bottom left, you see a store called Au Merveilleux de Fred. I was curious about what that was, so I looked it up online. This is what it is. Don't those look delicious? So here's what they are. The Incroyable, it's meringue, and then it's covered with speculoos biscuit whipped cream, and then it's coated with shaved white chocolate. The Impensable, I'm not pronouncing that right, meringue coffee whipped cream coated with crystallized coffee meringue. The Merveilleux, chocolate whipped cream and shavings of dark chocolate. That looks good. Magnifique, praline whipped cream coated with almond chips and caramelized hazelnuts. Sans culotte, caramel whipped cream coated with crystallized meringue. Excentrique, cherry whipped cream coated with crystallized cherry meringue. Wow. They also do these brioche type breads with raisin chocolate and sugar in them. So I will definitely be stopping by that shop. There are, of course, lots and lots of specialized stores all throughout Paris. And if you go to just the grocery stores, you will have one experience, that of Parisian grocery stores. But I would encourage you also to go to these specialized shops where they only sell one thing or two things. In this case, you can see it's labeled boulangerie, pâtisserie. So boulangerie is a bread store, pâtisserie is a pastry shop. That's sort of the inside of a pastry shop, lots of delicious looking pastries. And there's the inside of a boulangerie, also very tasty looking bread. A boucherie is a butcher shop. So inside that you would find lots of meat. And if you go to a charcuterie, you'll find cured meats and cheeses, so like a deli. One note about that, poissonnerie, a fish place. There's a bunch of fish. And then a fruit and vegetable shop, fruits et légumes. One of my fondest memories you can go to. This is Marché Bastille, so it's just a marketplace located in the Bastille area. And this is a website. If you look closely, you can see the web address up there at the top. This is a website that tells you where all the markets are, what day they are, and the hours. Look at the very bottom left market listing. It is called the Flower Market, or Bird City. On Sundays, this flower market turns into a bird market. You can see lots and lots of birds all over the place. Okay, this store, Primark, is relatively new to Paris, to Paris. It's sort of like Walmart. You can see on the map that it's sort of in the outskirts of Paris, but your travel pass will get you there. It just may take a little bit longer. And it might be worth going out there because it's like Walmart. They sell cheap clothing and cheap other things. So you could go out there and get some cool French clothing that's not going to break the bank. This is one of our kids' favorite shops. It's called Tiger, or Flying Tiger Copenhagen. But you can see there's two in Paris, one way out on the outskirts and one sort of central. This is sort of a place like, we call it IKEA, but not with furniture. It's like IKEA, but it's like little knickknacks and crafts and toys and notebooks and paper products. And it's just a really fun shop to go to. We really like it. We go there whenever we're near one. Then we have Aldi. If you're from back east, you're already familiar with Aldi. Um, it's just a really good grocery store. And you can see we have one in Paris on the very edge of the 20th arrondissement. And then also, this is a grocery store that I got used to on my mission in Scotland. There was a Spar on every corner, little grocery store. And we've seen them in other countries. But it looks like there's only one in Paris, in the 19th arrondissement. So if you want to go to Spar, if you live in the 19th arrondissement, you can get there really easy. Speaking of arrondissement, the neighborhood plan of Paris goes something like this. You can see the first arrondissement is sort of very central. Here's another view, a little bit easier to read this slide. So you can see that the first arrondissement, and then the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, how it goes around in a spiral, like a snail shell, just all the way around in a spiral till you get to the 20th arrondissement. And that's how it's arranged. So all of the teens are sort of the outskirts of Paris city, the big city. And they're all relatively easy to get to, by the way, by the metro. It doesn't take that long to get to any of these arrondissements. Here's one that sort of shows the main sites of Paris and which arrondissement they are in.